Hi, and thanks so much for joining me. Today we are talking about hair. Thank you, Alejandro, for the request. I know that you asked to see how I did my hair from a couple of videos back. I can show you the process. I can't promise it's the same exact result. I'm not good at hair. I've never been good at hair. I'm the combs her brows, doesn't comb her hair kind of girl. I'll spend all kinds of time on my makeup, but not on my hair. It's really inconsistent in terms of how it turns out, but usually with this process, it turns out somewhat the same every time. So I'm going to show you what that is. As you can see, I have some uneven waves here, so it's more of a beachy wave look. It doesn't take very long at all. It's pretty simple. If I can do it, you can definitely do it. So I'm going to show you the process. And really, I don't put heat on my hair very often, maybe once or twice a week. I hardly blow dry it. I will air dry it at night after I take a shower, and then usually it goes up in a bun during the day. So when it's not, and when I do actually curl it, then I do have a nice effect in terms of the movement because my hair is pretty healthy, and ever since I've parted it in the center, it has made styling hair easy as well because I don't have to put as much volume on the crown as I usually do if I part it on the side. So parting it in the middle has definitely helped speed up the process, and I'm going to show that to you. So if you'd like to see how I got these beachy waves, please keep watching. I typically wash my hair in the evening every day, and then I will let it just air dry. Sometimes if it's close to when I'm going to go to sleep, then I will definitely blow dry it because I don't like to sleep on wet hair. It bothers me that it's wet, so I will do a rough dry. But in this case, I just let it dry naturally, and then I slept on it. I do use a shower cap in the morning when I take a shower just to protect the hair, because if I don't, it'll get frizzy. It's actually a little bit frizzy today because I washed my shower cap last night. So this is no heat styling after I washed it. I apply a little bit of the ORIBE moisturizing product when I get out of the shower, just a little, probably a dime size, and I run it through my hair, and then I'll brush just the ends. When I heat style, I use the Caviar Anti-Aging Perfect Iron Spray, and it says that it is heat activated, moisture and protection, and I think it's up to a pretty high degree. It doesn't say on here, but I'll just spray this through my hair. And I have a mirror down here, so if I'm looking down here, that's why. I'm afraid I'm gonna burn myself with a curling iron if I look at the camera while I'm trying to curl my hair. So I just spray it mostly on the second half, and then I'll take the brush again and brush it through. This is just a Hairy Josh hairbrush that I bought with my Hairy Josh hairdryer, although I am really interested in that Dyson hairdryer. So if you have that one, let me know if you like it or if it's worth the price tag, because it is pretty pricey. Now that that's done, I'm just going to take a couple of the metal clips, and then I will clip the hair on top and just leave a little bit of the bottom out. And I've heated my hot tools. I think this is an extended barrel. It's longer for long hair, and I've heated up to 380 degrees. I actually don't go that high typically, but I wanted to show you what kind of curl this could make. So, oh, there's steam coming off. It always makes me nervous. So what I do is I'll go halfway down. I will then curl the end, and then I'll pull it through like this. And I know if you want a more modern look, you don't actually curl the very end of it, but my ends can get a little bit frayed almost. So I do like to go over the end with a curling iron so that it compresses the hair and makes a more even end. And I just curl the hair in an outward motion. So on this side of my face, I turn this way. What is that? That's counterclockwise. And on this side of my face, I will turn clockwise. Right? Clockwise. Outward. So this side of my face, I'll turn this direction, left, and then on this side of my face, I will turn out to the right. Again, I start about halfway down because I don't want to burn the ends, and I'll turn the iron, and then I will work it down to the end. And then I just repeat that all the way in the back, and it doesn't have to be perfect. In fact, if it's not perfect, it almost turns out better. Because if you have those really even curls, it kind of looks like prom hair. Unless you want prom hair, and you could do that with this. But if you want more of a beachy wave look, then the more imperfect, almost the better. So then I'm just taking less up, releasing more hair so I can curl it, and then I'll do the same thing, repeat. And the sections are about 2 inches wide, so curling more towards the middle to the upper half, and then I just kind of pump the curling iron as I move it down. Again, curling outward and then just pumping the curling iron as I move it down. And again, spending more time with heat on the upper half of my hair rather than the bottom half. Now, if there's a part where I need to make sure that it is even on both sides, it's in the front right here. And I'll take a smaller section, maybe closer to a 1/2 inch here, to 1 inch. And I will twist the hair at the end here just to kind of train it in that position as it cools. I like this because the plastic part is independent in terms of movement from the rest of the barrel, so you can hold onto this without burning your fingers, which I like. You can switch the direction of the curls, but it just works better for me to go all in the same direction. And as you can see, sometimes the chunks are bigger, like this is a 3 to 4 inch wide chunk of hair. I do find in the front though, the smaller the chunk, the better it works out because I have more control, but I can go with bigger chunks towards the back because it's not as important that that is falling in this pattern. I try to spend as little time with the iron on the more processed parts of my hair so I don't damage them any further, but again, they do need a little bit of heat on them so that they are going in the same direction. And then I'll start moving to larger chunks. But do you see what I mean? How the end of the hair isn't totally, yeah, you can tell it's a bit damaged, so that's why I try and stay off that as much as possible while still applying enough so that you don't see this frayed section. So you can see that section right there is a little bit frayed, so I'm going to go ahead and just spend as little time as I can on that so I don't further damage it. And that is damage due to processing in terms of hair color and highlighting. The hair on the second half, on the upper half of my head, is really healthy, so I don't mind spending more time up there, and it also takes a little bit longer for it to take a curl because it is so healthy up here. The drier my hair, the easier it is to take a curl. Okay, and if I notice something needs a bigger curl or a tighter curl or more curl, sometimes it's under here, like I'll notice it needs more of a wave, then I'll just go under to those areas and just spot curl as needed. And then I'll just take a very light hair setting spray or a finishing spray. This is the Windblown Redken 05. It is a dry finishing spray. My favorite one is by ORIBE, their hair spray. But in a pinch, because I don't have the ORIBE right now, I'm going to use this. And this one is probably my second favorite. And I just lightly spritz. So if you have hair like me, which is, how did my hairstylist describe it once? It's coarse, but there's not that much of it. So if I add hairspray, then it gets really stiff, and I don't like that. I like some movement. My hair does really well when it's clean. It doesn't do well when it's dirty. A lot of people say that it's easier to style hair when it's dirty, but that is completely opposite for me. The cleaner the hair, the more easy it is for me to style and the better it looks. I'm going to take a closer look in the mirror here and just fix anything that looks off. And then I will just push the hair on one side to the back of my ear, because if I have the hair like this on my face, it's okay, but I prefer that you can see my jawline on at least one side. I just think it works better for my facial structure. Okay, I'm just gonna move it around a little bit more till I get it where I want it. So all I really do from this point is I kind of push it around to the shape I want it to be. I'll hit it again with some of the spray, and that's it. And if you need to separate the curls a little bit, just pull them out and then twist them with your finger, and then you can see the individual curls a little bit more. So if you start to find that they're melding together and you're just getting one big wave, you can pull them out, twist them a little bit, or you can also go in with this again and add more curls. But as you can see, I didn't add too much heat along the way. It was pretty minimal in terms of the ends of the hair, so I think that's something to keep in mind. Try not to damage this part of your hair as much as possible. So if you enjoyed this video, if you learned something, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thanks! And this is just a Hairy Josh brush that came with the, this is a Hairy Josh, yeah, really curious about the, and this is the Hairy Josh brush that came with the Hairy Josh, and this is just the Hairy Josh brush that and this is a Hairy Josh hairbrush that comes with the, Josh hairbrush that I purchased with, got lint in it. I'm really interested in the